Let's get started. So our company, it's called Leaf Ventures. And like I said, we invest in startups, we invest in technology. And a lot of the technology, we actually use it in our own stores. So one of the apps that we've invested in is a company called Payroll Hero. So how many of you here like to take selfies? Who here takes selfies? So if you like selfies, okay, take a selfie and then I guess you can tag me and I can check if it's likable. But anyway, what we do with our with selfies here is when our employees come to work, we check if they actually came to work based on the selfie they took. So there's an iPad or an iPhone in the store and they slide and it takes a selfie of them. And then that information goes to the cloud, goes to the internet, and then people are able to check whether they're there. So it's pretty cool that selfies can now be used for business, okay? Another one we invested in is called, we partnered with this TradeGecko. So it's a cloud-based inventory system. And then we have another one called Zendesk. Zendesk is a customer service system. It's made by, it's used by guys like Disney, Twitter, a lot of very big companies. And then Pipeline Deals is a cloud-based CRM. And so I don't want to bore you with the stuff we do. I'm gonna give you a secret, okay? If you follow this secret, okay, you're gonna become successful. And like here, how many of you here want to become successful? I want to see hands. Raise your hands. You want to become successful, okay? How many? So the rest don't want to become successful? Wow, ang dami palang ayaw maging successful, diba? I think you should just go home if you don't want to be successful, right? That's why you're here, okay? If you want to be successful, I'm going to give you a formula. That's why now you have to take out your notebooks or your phones and you better make sure you take notes or you take a screenshot of what I'm going to show you. So when you go home, okay, you practice it because if you practice it, you're going to become a success. I had a friend before, we would go to the gym together. So 6 a.m., 6:30, we would be at the gym and then halos sabay lang kami pumunta sa gym. Pero the difference was, while I would go to work out, he would grab a newspaper, grab a cup of coffee, uupo lang siya sa corner at magbabasa ng dyaryo. So after an hour, I'd be done and he'd go, oh, where are you going? I'm going to the office. And he'll go, oh nga no, kailangan ko na rin pumasok. So he would go take a shower and what? Go to the office. How many of you think that my friend did not get the results that he wanted? Do you think he got his results? No? Yes? Can I hear an answer? No. Why? Because it's not about going to the gym, it's about working out. So a lot of people, they go to school, but they don't become a success. Why? Because they're like my friend, instead of studying, instead of listening, instead of learning, they are what? Fooling around, diba? Looking at their crush, diba? Not reading their books, texting each other, making fun of the teacher. Why? So what happens is, they're like my friend who goes to school or goes to the gym, but doesn't get the results because, why? They didn't do the necessary things to succeed. And that's very common, okay? And the reason why I wanted to share this is because I've noticed a few things. A lot of young people come up to us. I'm actually quite young, not as young as you guys. I'm 30 years old, but still young. And I talk to a lot of young people and say, hey, I have a good idea. I have a business idea. And one of the things I've noticed is this. Okay, this is another one of our companies, but one of the things I've noticed is there's actually a lot of opportunity there for smart, hardworking, persevering people who are willing to learn. Okay, there's a lot of opportunity. Another thing I've noticed is there's a lot of ideas. How many of you here have a Facebook account? Right? Everyone has an idea that pretty much every day you're going to see people sharing on their status an idea. I have an idea for this, and I have an idea for that, okay? Another one is there's a lot of technology. Did you know, my friend told me this, my friend Iba, that the phones you have in your pocket, it has more computing power than all the computers that sent the first man to the moon. So if you look at all the computers in that room, you know, like that rocket ship that sent man to the moon, your phones, your smartphones, has more computing power. But that's so amazing that a lot of people have all that power in their pocket, and what do do with it? Selfies, right? Chatting, instead of really using it to send their careers sky high, okay? Another thing I've noticed is there's a lot of information. You talk to the average person today, they know so much. In fact, they have so much information that they have a lot of opinions, but the problem is, where are the solutions? Let me give you an example. The BPO industry, okay, because of technology, it has allowed the Philippines to service clients in the States, in Europe, but even the BPO industry that wants to hire a lot of students can't seem to find enough quality students to hire. Because why? Not because they don't want to hire, but because a lot of students are like my friend who goes to the gym, doesn't work out. A lot of students go to school, but don't really learn. Okay? And that's why what I'm about to teach you is if you really embrace it, okay, you will succeed because you're going to set yourself apart. Diba? Iba ka sa karamihan ng tao where most people are content to be lazy, okay, you're going to succeed because you set yourself apart and work harder, okay? The question really here is, where are the great people? Who here wants to become successful again? Raise your hands. Okay, so I think a little bit more now. Okay, and I hope you guys listen to this, okay? So here's the quick formula. Character, and I'm going to explain it one by one. Character plus capability, okay, times commitment or overtime equals commitment, equals credibility, competence, plus competence equals success. So let me break it down for you. Focus on one word, okay? Character, right? Can everyone say that with me? Character. Hindi yung character sa pelikula, ha? Character, you're the character, okay? And the meaning of character is the quality of who you are. Okay? To keep it simple, right? There are some people, pag nakita mo sila, parang, wow, this person looks larger than life. This person looks respectable, diba? That person is of a different quality. And the simple way to have character is simply this. Do the hard thing that's good for you. If you don't want to wake up early for school, wake up early. If you don't want to read your homework or your assigned reading, read it anyway. You want to spend extra money? Don't spend it, save it. Every time you do the necessary hard thing, your character becomes better. When you say no to bad peer pressure and instead you apply yourself to your studies, you apply yourself to the opportunities around you, you become a better character. When you spend less time wasting on Facebook, instead learning about what made Mark Zuckerberg successful, you become a better character. A lot of people, okay, what keeps them from succeeding is not that they're not talented. It's not that, you know, a lot of people think it's all about capital. No, it's the first thing is, what kind of person are you becoming? Okay? Do you guys get this? Character, that's the first thing you need to develop if you're going to be successful. So the secret to that is this. Little by little, improve your character. Like, one of the things that's important for people is to read a lot. When I was younger, I didn't like reading. I hated reading. So what I did was, I forced myself to read 1 page a day. Just 1 page. And then I made it 2 pages, and then 3 pages. It's a lot more now, but see, when you develop your discipline, okay, you give yourself an advantage. Again, who wants to be successful? Okay, parang kumonti bigla, di ba? Kasi papahirapan pala. Okay, no one who succeeds had it easy. All right? The next thing is character plus capability. Another word for capability is kakayahan. Okay? Work on your key strengths. Everybody has a capability. Let me repeat that. Every single one of you has a capability. The difference is going to be some of you are going to work on your capability and some of you aren't going to. Because some of you are going to discipline yourselves to work on it. So I know, we meet a lot of people. We hire a lot of baristas. We hire a lot of everything from marketing to development to managers. And the big difference here is the people that really rise up and get promoted are the ones who work on their skills. How many of you here know Michael Jordan? I don't know, baka you're too young to know him, but how many of you here know Michael Jordan? What sport does he play? Basketball, okay. How many of you here know Kobe Bryant? What sport does he play? Okay, how many of you know LeBron James? What is common about all of them? Okay, other than that, okay. Do you know, one thing that's common about all of them is, yes, they're basketball players, but they're all great. They're all great. They all are champions, okay? They all are respected, and they all are financially successful. But another thing that's very obvious about people like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James is extra practice. All the best athletes, all the best musicians, all the best entrepreneurs, all the best students go extra. Extra practice, extra study, extra work. They go overtime. And to make your capabilities strong, and remember, in this day and age, we're competing with everyone in Southeast Asia. We're competing with the world. Okay? You need to be the kind of person that's working on your strengths. So maybe your strength is just being a good friend. Work on it. Try to be a good friend to as many people as possible. Maybe your strength is your mathematical. Be really good at it. Because you don't know, there's so many opportunities that come from working on your strengths. So what's the first word? Letter C. Character, very good. What's the second word? It's still up there. Capability, okay? And the secret to capability is what? Go extra, right? Study harder, study longer, work harder, work longer. To give you an idea, I have my staff, we have them come in at 7 a.m. every day, kind of like school. And people ask me, so does that mean we finish work earlier? No, you finish work when you're done. Okay, you don't finish work when you're, just because you're tired. Okay, now, if you build your character, if you improve your capabilities, and you commit to it, okay, you stick with it over time, okay, you're gonna get really good. Why? Because no one becomes good instantly. Okay, we all become good as part of a process. One of the key ingredients to success is a word called passion. How many of you here have heard the word passion? I'm sure you've heard it before. So the literal meaning of the word passion, if you look at the origins of the word, is the word suffering. So when you've heard that movie, Passion of Christ, it's the suffering of Christ. So when someone says they're passionate over something, ibig sabihin nun, they love it so much na okay lang na mahirapan sila. So girls, if a guy ever tells you he's passionate over you, you know what to say. Oh, sige, sabi mo yan, ha? Sige, papahirapan kita. Okay? Okay, don't do that. That's mean. But basically, okay, the word passion means suffering. And that's why a lot of people sinasabi nila, this is my passion, pero pag nahirapan na sila, they give up. They have no commitment. And so I'm telling you now, being a little bit older than you want to become successful, you build yourself, you build your character, and you commit. Don't leave, don't run just because it got hard. Don't run, don't leave just because mapapahiya ka, or tinukso ka, or niloloko ka. You stay with it and you'll succeed. Okay, especially if you built the first two. Okay? Now, if you have these three ingredients, it leads to, okay, basically, instead of let it go, let it grow. Okay? That movie made me fall asleep, by the way, but a lot of people like it. And I want to talk to you about passion. I went through that. Again, right? If anyone tells you passion, it means suffering. And if you do that, you end up with credibility. Credibility means people now trust you. Let's say, diba? How many of you here watched the Gilas basketball match, right? Let's say we're down by 2 points, time is running out, we have the ball, we need a 3 to win. Who are we gonna pass it to? Huh? Most probably Alapag, right? Why? Why not me? Because I'm gonna miss that shot. But you give it to someone who has the character and the capability and has shown commitment, people can trust that person to make the winning shot. And if people can trust you, if your teachers can trust you, if your classmates can trust you, and if your parents can trust you, guess what? You're going to become successful. Why? Because investors put their money in people they can trust. If you want more open doors, get good at being trustworthy. Okay? So, earn people's trust. You earn people's trust little by little. Okay? It's not like, wow, trust me right away. No. You earn it little by little. Okay? Next is competence. When you work on your capabilities over time, you become good at it. That's what competence means. Meaning, magaling ka na. Okay? And basically, aim for mastery. You know, a lot of countries, when you visit them, let's say Japan, kahit yung janitor, minamaster niya yung ginagawa niya. Kaya in the long run, he becomes promoted, even though that's all he does. If you will master the little things that you're doing, if you get good at it, guess what? You're going to become successful. And finally, let me talk about success. Okay, character plus capability, you add commitment, you get credibility and competence, you're going to become a success. So, I hope you guys took this down. It's a lot harder than it seems. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about this word success. Okay? And there's 3 things I want you to do with success. Number 1 is, what is success to you? You have to define it. Because if success is just making more money, then how much money are you talking about? There are a lot of rich people who aren't successful because they stole the money and made another person's life miserable. Okay? There's a lot of people who may be famous, but they're famous for the wrong things. To me, that's not success. Okay? Once you've defined it, you got to put the formula into action and pursue it. Grow your character, grow your capabilities. Okay? And as you do that, okay, stay committed and see the results. For me, one big metric for my success that I'm working on, I haven't achieved it yet, has to do with this picture. Okay, how many of you guys, if you don't know what this is, you better go home now, right? This is what? The Philippine flag. And so one of the things that I struggle with on a daily basis is, you know, when you look around you, there's so many people who are suffering. You know, and many of us have suffered in different occasions also. You know, there was a time in my life where I was also suffering. But, so success for me is not success if I cannot take the people that matter to me and my countrymen along with me. But the sad thing is, no matter how many opportunities we open up, many times it's the person who has the opportunity. There's a job waiting for them. There's an open door waiting for them. There's a degree waiting for them. What stops this dream of a greater Philippines is I look around and I see people who cannot concentrate, who aren't studying, who aren't saving, who aren't working harder, and have a million excuses. And the problem with that is, even though you have a really good excuse, you're not going to help yourself or your family. Instead, you need to park your excuses and do what I told you. Work on your character, little by little. Work on your capabilities, little by little. Commit to it. Don't give up. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Maybe it will take 10, maybe it will take 20 years. Stick with it. Okay? Earn the trust of people. Get mastery. And you wait for the success. Okay? Now, you're all very young. You have time on your side. Now, everybody has 3 things that they invest to become successful: time, money, and energy. Now, very few people actually start out with money. If you look at my history, I didn't start out with money. I had to find a way to earn people's trust to invest. It took me a long time. But what I did have, and that's what you have also now, is time and energy. In fact, I started from a place where you guys are in a similar spot, where all you have is time and energy. If you will use your time and energy and get really good, you're going to have everything I talked about. Now I'm 30 years old. How many of you here are 13 years old? No one? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old? So everyone here is pretty much like 10 years younger than me. If you read 1 page a day, starting today, in 1 year, you would have read 365 pages. That's roughly a book and a half. Okay? In 10 years, you would have read 10 books. You're going to be smarter than your average classmate. Okay? If you do something like 10 push-ups a day, in 1 year you would have done how many push-ups? 3,650 push-ups in 10 years, 36,000. So you're gonna look good. So my point here, and I want you guys to remember this, especially when you're young, don't use your time making pa-cute. Talk to the person beside you, to your right. Look at them and say, don't make pa-cute. Okay? That's not gonna help you. That's not gonna help your future. Right? Instead, work on your character and work on your capabilities. Why? Let me give you an example. Let's say there's a guy who likes a girl. He didn't work on himself his whole life. Diba? He didn't work on his body, he didn't work on his intelligence, he didn't work on his opportunities. Biglang may nagustuhan na siya. Hindi naman niya mapakain, hindi naman niya mapabahay. Diba? That person's gonna miss the opportunity. Pogi nga niya, pero hindi niya madala yung solution. Okay? In other words, instead of using your time making pa-cute, use exactly the same time to become really good. Okay? Turn to the person on your left and say, become really good. Okay? And I believe that if more of you and if more of us become really good, who's gonna benefit? Who's gonna benefit? Us. Our country's gonna benefit, right? And we can stop, voting silly people to office, right? And so, if you become really good, you're gonna open opportunities for yourself, you're gonna open opportunities for your family, and you're gonna help the country. And I think that's success. For me, the real success is when you're able to build yourself into a certain kind of person that's a blessing to others and a blessing to your country, then that would be worth it. So even if just one of you in this crowd embraces this, I think that this is very much worth my time, but I hope more of you do. Okay, I hope that you really do it because, like I said, like my friend, it doesn't matter how many blogs you read or books you read or talks you listen to. What matters is that you go and work. Okay, what matters is that you take the lessons and apply it. And that's the secret. That's where the real magic is. Okay, so I think the slides are going to be available on the website. Now let's go through it really quick. What's the first word? Character. What's the second word? Capability. Get really good at something. Third word? Commitment. Great, you're smart. Okay, what does that lead to? Credibility and competence. And if you have that, you're going to become successful. Okay, so if you want to share your success stories with me, even if it's a small success stories, tag me on Twitter or something. I'd be more than happy to hear it. If you have any business ideas and you want to share it with me, we'll try and go through everything. But I'd very much love to hear your success stories. I know a lot of you are going to become one. And I wanted to really use this time to give you the reality, okay, that you have to work hard. Okay? And if you embrace it, then you're going to discover things that other people aren't because you paid the necessary cost for it. Okay? Did you guys learn something today? Okay, I hope you guys remember that, and I hope you apply it. Thank you, and thank you to the organizers for this opportunity.